A ho 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 and a happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to the annual NRN editorial Drinked-In Live Holiday Spectacular featuring the editors of Nation's Restaurant News. That's us. We're here live because this is LinkedIn Live, thus live. Unless you're watching it later, in which case not so live, but you're still going to have a good time with us. We like to have fun with this. This is our opportunity to come together at the end of the year and look at the year that was. We are going to talk about 2025, which was meh. I don't know. We'll get into that. Yeah, Brett's giving it a big old thumbs down. And we'll talk about 2026, which I don't know, probably going to be meh as well. We shall see. We'll talk about the trend expectations we have for the year ahead. And we're all having a good time with our fun festive gear and our fun festive drinks. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Holiday Spectacular. We like to do this. I think this is the fourth time we've done this. I should add before we jump in, for those of you who are watching live, throw some comments in the comment function down there. I don't know, probably over here, down here. Ask us questions. We are doing this live for a reason because we want to talk to you. So please do so, or else this is just sad. And what are we even doing? Okay, let's jump into it. I should introduce myself. I'm Sam Okus, editor-in-chief of Nation's Restaurant News, and this is the best daggone editorial team food service has to offer. Very excited to come to you with this group of folks. We're going to jump into it. Joanna Fantozzi, what are you drinking?
Hi. I am a little bit lame because I cannot currently drink because I am pregnant, but I have office hot chocolate, which I feel like hot chocolate's a very festive drink anyway.
It's festive. It's of the season. You know, I think a smidge would be okay. I think a smidge. Just a little bit of rum or something.
Not really. Also, I'm wearing snowflake earrings.
Okay.
and red.
Enough. All right, Joanna, let's start with the biggest restaurant headline of 2025. And when we think back on 2025 in the future, what is this year going to remind you of?
Well, there are a lot of headlines to go with, but I think because I'm the tech reporter, I really need to talk about all of the movers and shakers and M&A and all that stuff that happened in the tech segment of the restaurant industry. Just to name a few, Wonder completed its acquisition of Grubhub earlier on in the year. Actually, many people might have thought that happened in 2024, but that happened just earlier this year. Olo was taken private, and DoorDash made 3 acquisitions, and a lot of other announcements. I feel like this year was almost the year of DoorDash. I swear they're not sponsoring this. And I just feel like there was just a lot of movement within the restaurant tech space. And to me, that really makes sense because a big complaint among operators is that the restaurant tech world was just too big and there's too many options and there's too much complications. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation, and that really has happened over the past several years, but I feel like it really ramped up, and that there were a lot of headlines over the past year.
Yeah, I think we kind of all saw this coming, right? Back when FS Tech of a year or two ago, there was thousands of booths. There's just at some point, there's too many food service tech companies. You all saw the consolidation happening.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. Joanna, you think we're going to have more of that next year? You know what? Nope, no spoilers. I don't.
Right. No, we're
on the 2026 trend prediction for later. We're going to move along to Brett Thorne, senior food and beverage editor at NRN. I said that weird. NRN.
You said it great, Sam.
How are you, Brett? Welcome to the stage. What are you drinking, Brett?
Well, first, I want to say that what Joanna's drinking is very on trend. Not only if you are expecting children, should you not be drinking, probably not. I'm not judging, but a lot of people aren't drinking for a lot of reasons. And so it's super on trend. I think fewer adults now are drinking alcohol than ever have in the United States since it's been measured. People are drinking a lot less. And if you want to have hot chocolate, I'm not judging you. I, however, am drinking alcohol, and I'm in the office, so I didn't have a lot of great choices, but I found this, which is extremely on trend. It is a canned cocktail, which is on trend. It is Topo Chico, which is an on-trend brand, and it is flavored strawberry, always trendy, and guava, which was especially trendy in 2025, and I think will be. And I am of the wrong demographic for this because I do not enjoy it.
But please
No,
drink up. Keep
yeah,
drinking.
no,
Brett, before
no.
we get into your 2025 memory, why do you think young people stop drinking? I'm confused. This is one trend I cannot get behind. Young people, what are you doing? Come on, enjoy the wonderfulness of a bit of booze, even if it's low ABV. I mean, look, no disrespect, no judging here, but this is kind of a shocker. Why,
Well,
Brett?
marijuana is legal in many states now, which
That may do it.
provides another option. The youngsters also, from what I hear, are very focused on health, but they're also drinking dirty soda, which is taking the thing that is worst thing for you in our diet and making it even worse for you. So
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a contradiction among young people, as there is a contradiction among all of us. We're all
Mm.
hypocrites. We all have, yin and yang and naughty and nice and all of that. And it's not just the kids who are drinking less. I mean, my drinking buddies, I was just at a Hanukkah party on Sunday, and a bunch of them were talking about how they're drinking less too. There's just something in the air that makes a lot of people want to practice a little bit of moderation, if not sobriety.
Fair
I
enough.
heard
Well, we got
Gen Z say
yeah,
that.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I heard that Gen Z said perhaps our resident Gen Zer slash Gen Z cusper can answer this, but I've heard it's related to mental health a little bit and also just like anxiety. So they're just like, we're too anxious and don't want to add substances to it.
And maybe now that you mention that, we all suffered from mental health issues during COVID lockdown, and maybe we're, recalibrating and maybe cutting back on alcohol is a way to do that. I went through a case of rye the first 2 months of COVID. So,
Well, this got deep really fast. We'll get to our youngsters in a little bit, as Brett likes to say, our youngsters on staff. We'll get their opinions on the matter. But first, Brett, 2025, what was the biggest restaurant headline of the year for you?
Well, my biggest sort of thing, I go to a lot of events, and because Joanna was busy, I got to go to the Starbucks convention in Las Vegas, or as they don't like me to call it convention, they call it a leadership experience, which a convention sounds more fun, frankly. And they flew out 14,000 Starbucks managers to Las Vegas. I don't know what better definition there is for a convention than that. 14,000 people in Vegas. And it was really it was a 3-day long pep rally, basically. Like, they rented out the UNLV basketball stadium and convened everybody there because it was a convention. And there was a lot of cheering about a wide variety of different things, but the thing that got a standing ovation was when upper management announced that Starbucks were all going to get assistant general managers, and the managers lost their minds. They were so psyched about that, which I think shows that maybe the Starbucks are understaffed a little bit. I don't know, but certainly that reaction would say that and the return of raspberry syrup got everybody excited. I'm not sure what that's about, but they were.
Well, that may have been the high point in Starbucks year, Brett. They didn't have a lot to crow about this year. That was one of the things. For all of the young people who are not drinking alcohol, why isn't Starbucks doing better, Brett?
Oh, well, I think it's because there are all of these other little chains that are doing great. I mean, some of the fastest growing, I think Seven Brews is the fastest growing, but there are a bunch of little coffee chains that are doing phenomenally. A lot of them, I think all of them really, are focused on service as well as great or creative beverages, and not just coffee. So many energy drinks out there, so much going on in that space. And I think Starbucks, was what, 15, 20 years ago, the cool kid. Now they're kind of old and stodgy. And just like before Starbucks became the punching bag of everybody, something's wrong in society, unions, whatever, you blame Starbucks. Before that, they blamed McDonald's. Any obesity, whatever's going on, they blame McDonald's. So right now, Starbucks is sort of in everybody's eyesight and not necessarily in a good way. I think that's part of the challenge. And it's just hard operationally to run all those restaurants.
Feels like we should put blame Starbucks on a bumper sticker. That might do okay.
I mean, we
Right,
might make
because
money on it, but it's not very nice, Sam.
I
Don't
I
agree
ran out
with
of time, but I was gonna go to Starbucks for my beverage, and I ran out of
Oh,
time. But it would have been
oh,
funny if I was just like sipping Starbucks.
Could have been appropriate. Yeah, you
Yeah.
stand for Starbucks. I know that about
Converse,
you. Yeah.
Conversely, I'm wearing swag from a very, very popular brand right now, Chili's. And you'll see that it has 2 L's because this is for the launch of their a new line of frozen margaritas. So they added an L, chili, also appropriate for winter. And that's the closest thing I have to an ugly Christmas sweater. So that's what I got.
It's appropriate, and it's a great segue into our next guest. Alicia Kelso, welcome to the stage. What are you wearing, Alicia?
Right, you always make me laugh so much. I am wearing a Chili's holiday sweater as well, and we did not plan that. And I am drinking a Tipsy Reindeer served mucho, sent to me directly from Applebee's. So cheers to Applebee's. They
Quite the conflict you have going there between your drink and your
not
sweater.
really. I'm just representing casual dining altogether, which is germane because the segment had a pretty strong year, comparatively speaking. A Tipsy Reindeer is basically a holiday punch with vodka and ocean spray cranberry. And they even sent me a little Santa gummy to garnish my mucho drink with. They apparently know the way to my heart. So,
But that's not a cannabis gummy, right? Just a gummy.
correct. I mean, I don't think so. They might have just pay attention to how this conversation goes as the hour goes along.
All right, Alicia, before you lose your mind and start to drift off on a high, tell us what you thought 2025 will be remembered for.
Well, you know that I am not great at brevity. So there's sort of a three-way tie for the biggest headlines from this year. And I don't think the first one is going to surprise anybody because it married what we do as a trade publication with, the general public. And that is the Cracker Barrel logo debacle heard around the world, fueled by 80% bots, reversed very quickly. Unfortunately, this was a huge narrative, and the company lost an awful lot of money. And so I think that we would be remiss if we looked back on 2025 and did not, signal that as one of the biggest, if not the biggest story from the industry this year.
Yep.
From where I'm sitting, I would also say that the Krispy Kreme McDonald's partnership dissipating was also a pretty big story for me. Especially it was kind of personal because they started that test in my market. So I had a really solid front row seat to how this partnership was rolling out. I had a lot of criticisms throughout in terms of, uneven distribution, the markup cost of the donuts at the McDonald's, supply chain shortages, all of it. So, this was a big swing, which I think is necessary in this industry. But, with big swings come big misses. And Krispy Kreme is now dealing with a turnaround plan that they weren't earlier this year. The ending of this partnership seemed rather abrupt. They were really bullish about this at the end of 2024. And they are now dealing with a lawsuit from investors as well. So, and I, again, on paper, I thought this was an interesting partnership because McDonald's does have a gap in their menu in terms of morning pastries. And so, they just couldn't figure out how to make it work. And the third biggest story from, again, where I'm sitting, that is a little more subtle, less of a one and done headline, is the softness of the fast casual category in general. I didn't ever think that we would be talking about traffic losses, in back-to-back quarters, for example, at Chipotle or Cava missing expectations, or, the really tough third quarter that Sweetgreen turned in, and so on and so forth. And it, something Brett said kind of intrigued me, about Starbucks is, he called it old and stodgy. I don't think I would go that far. about fast casual, but I do think the maturation of the category has contributed to some of the softness this year. And I also think that fast casual was remarkably slow getting into that really intense value conversation that started last year and picked up in earnest this year. So we'll see how they course correct next year.
Thanks for putting that on the document, Alicia, so that I could not overlap you. Jeez.
I did.
It's fine. It's not on the document, Alicia. So now I got to pick another one. I'll pick a new one by the time it comes around.
I'm sorry. I just like to one up you.
I know.
Maybe that was the cannabis company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, Sam. It's not my fault. It's Applebee's fault.
It's on my document. It floats in front of my face. I'm just joshing you. There's plenty to talk about there. Okay, let's pull in a youngster, shall we? I'm just kidding, Kanaya. You know, I'm sensitive to calling out people's ages. So you are a perfectly fine of age video editor, brand new to our team. Everybody meet Kanaya Umelo, who's been doing some spectacular work for us on video. And Kanaya brought a lovely hat, as did Allie. Thank you guys for really coming for, prepared for the occasion. Kanaya, you've not been covering, well, hold on. Let's take a break. We got to address the beverage question in the room. First off, what are you drinking and why is your generation not drinking alcohol, Kanaya?
See, I can't wait to answer this question, but I'm drinking a Lucky One non-carbonated alcoholic drink adopted by High Noons. So if you know what High Noons are, you probably know what this is. And also to people saying that young people don't drink, that's a lie. I think a lot of the people around me drink a lot, if not way too much. But I always say, like, after a certain age, overly drinking, that's when you look at it and you're like, maybe you're doing too much. I'm not going to say 25 because I'm 25.
I was going to say, what is that age?
I'm not going to say 27 because Allie's 27. So I'm going to say 28.
28. All right.
I turned 28 in like a month, dude. Come on.
Oh, man. All right. Allie's drinking. All right.
That you think there's a difference between 25 and 20. It's adorable. You are young people. And I mean that as a compliment. Nothing wrong with being young.
All right, Kanaya, you've only been with us now for a couple of months, but we've thrown you in the deep end on the restaurant industry. You tell us what you think in your short time here. What's your impression of kind of the biggest thing going on in restaurants this year?
I have a huge infatuation as a youngin with AI. And a big thing that I picked up on when I, first joined here, and I started doing more of my research and just seeing the articles that you guys put out and the content that you guys put out, is that AI is really taking over, the restaurant industry in big ways, as in like predicting, busy times and sales, to like the small things and like optimizing menus. And, I think another big thing I saw was just like they're using voice AI to for drive-throughs and stuff. So it's almost like, I hear when people say like, oh, AI is gonna, and also I don't know why my camera keeps zooming out, so don't mind that.
It wants to get a wide look at what's going on there.
I feel like it emphasizes everything.
Those rifles you have on the wall above you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. They're skis. They're skis. That joke was made before.
Everybody, please. But I think that when people say that AI is going to be taking over the future, I think we're literally living in it. Like, this is the future. Like, I think AI has now become the present. Because especially, being a video editor, people, are worried about, AI coming into the video editing world and like doing things for us and But I think it's gone past the video editing, gone into the real world, and now we're using it and seeing it within restaurants. Like, don't be surprised if the menu that you're looking at was created by AI and someone just printed it out, right? Or going through a drive-through, and then when you're talking to the voice thing that you use to order your food, and what responds to you is Siri or Alexa, but yeah, I just think that's definitely one of the biggest things that I've taken away since being here. And then I'm kind of just excited to see where it goes with it in terms of the workforce and the little people who work in the restaurant industry and where their careers can end up because of AI.
Yep. All very astute points. I think you've got a good eye on that, Kanayo. You are not wrong in that assessment. AI, I mean, look, it's going to become sort of the thing where it's just in everything, and AI will no longer be the trend. It will be the thing, and we'll be talking about the trends within AI. It's probably sooner rather than later. Okay, Nora, our social editor. And if any of you who are following this, follow us on social media, which I'm sure you do. And if you don't, go find us at Nation's Restaurant News, Instagram, TikTok. Nora, you are seeing mostly everything that Nora is giving us. She's given us some great videos, lots of fun unboxings. Nora, I know. Well, first off, Nora, what are you drinking?
So I'm also drinking a hot chocolate with whipped cream and some Christmas-y sprinkles on top. And I also have my Grinch socks with me.
Hey,
Does that count?
one of the lucky few who got them, right? Aren't they all gone?
Yeah, they are. I got them. I went to go pick up the meal. I think like the next day it came out. And I'm even surprised they had it the next day, to be honest, but they did.
You could sell those on eBay probably, Nora.
Could I? How much do you think I could sell them for?
I don't know. I bet you could. Well, the fact that you got them essentially for free means that you could get them for something rather than nothing. So
True.
I'm not condoning this behavior, of course. Sorry, McDonald's, if you're going to get a flood of eBay Grinch socks. It's got to be a secondary market for that, though.
And there definitely is something on eBay for these, for sure.
Indeed. Okay, Nora, you have created such great videos for us. So you're like on the front line as far as a lot of these trends because you're actually consuming most of them in doing video for them. So I want to ask you, what were some of your favorite videos from this year? What are some memories that stick in your mind around the social media that you've been creating for us this year?
Well, so to start, our top viewed video that got like 2.6 million views was Taco Bell's cheesy dipping burrito. That was just on Instagram. I think it got like 2 million on TikTok too. So,
wow.
And it was their cheesy dipping burrito with their Chipotle creamy sauce. I think they just brought that back again with their new garlic sauce, I believe. That did really well. McDonald's holiday pie also did really well. And then Outback came out with their new boomerang mozzarella sticks that did amazing on social media as well. And then Jersey Mike's hot honey cheesesteak sandwich. But I think my favorite thing that I've tried recently was Dunkin's cookie butter cold foam cloud latte that they just came out with. It was really good. Yeah.
I was like, today. Didn't you have that today or yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Today.
So that takes the cake. I'll have to go get one of those. What do you deduce from why all of those videos? I mean, there's no through line between all of those products. Do you think why do you think people are so interested in those particular products?
Well, I think Taco Bell in general just has like a really big following. So I think anything new from Taco Bell does really well. But I also think McDonald's, the holiday pie did good because they're well known for their apple pie. So I think the variety of their pies is what people want to try. And then Outback, I think because Chili's did really well with their mozzarella sticks on social media. So when they came out with their own, I think that's what people wanted to see and try as well.
Indeed. Yeah. Something about that cheese mozzarella stick. I don't get it. I'm here for a good cheese pull, but I don't need to go searching for more and more on social media. Maybe that's just me. All right, Allie, last but not least, our other fellow 20-something. Allie, tell us what you're drinking.
I am drinking some Pinot Grigio from my parents' fridge. I am currently here so that this way I have the nice Christmas background. I have a tiny itty bitty tree in my apartment, so I figured this sets the theme a little more. We got some ambiance and some wine.
But
although
you
I did consider.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I did consider a THC beverage, but I wasn't so sure how Informa would go along with that, so I held off.
It's not 5 o'clock yet, so it's probably a good idea. Tell us why you refused to let our audience see the hand-drawn picture of you on your parents' wall.
Oh my gosh, it's embarrassing.
Right, it's fine. We won't force it.
I'm an only child, so that's why there is a giant picture of me on my parents' wall.
Understood. Okay, Allie, when you think about 2025, what do you think is going to be the biggest headline of the year?
Everyone dunking on McDonald's stands out to me. Their value wasn't really valuing. In fact, Chili's released their Big QP burger to kind of slam McDonald's for their skimpy portions and how, once again, that value meal didn't quite add up. People would rather go to full service sit down restaurants, spend a little bit extra for a good deal, like Chili's has been promoting all of these outrageous deals. So that Big QP burger has, I think, 80% more beef than a regular quarter pounder. So it's almost a half-pound burger. And I did try it and I could not finish it. So, and I'm a burger girl. So
It's good value.
that says something.
That's
It is a good value.
I had the Shake Shack Big Shack for lunch today, which is their take on a Big Mac, and it's like $10, and it's
Yeah.
the whole thing, the triple bun, everything. I did finish it, and it was quite good. But
Well,
another McDonald's knockoff.
It's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
remarkable that $10 seems cheap now, but that's kind of where we're at these days. So, all right. Well, now that we've concluded that round, I guess I should say my own. All right. So first off, I will say Columbus Brewing Tracksuit Santa, a nice holiday ale here. This is a go-to in my house alongside the Great Lakes Brewing Christmas Ale, which I believe I had last year. Okay. Also, I have to give a shout out to our colleague Leanne Zinsmeister. Hello, Leanne. Leanne's flight got in a little too late, and so she could not join us for this. She may still be in an Uber right now. Maybe she's watching. If you are, hi, Leanne. We'll catch you next time. Leanne said, in case anybody's wondering, her big thing for 2025 was all of the public companies going private, which there were a handful. I think Denny's was probably the biggest situation where that happened. We're watching some more happening in 2026. Of course, the big one to watch is Pizza Hut, whether that gets sold off by Yum Brands. I will say for my own big headline of 2025, and I'll borrow from Alicia, but I'll also kind of make it my own, which I'll say, I too thought that the fast casual category losing momentum was really big because I've covered this industry for 17 years, and my entire career, the fast casual category has been the hottest thing going. It's been the cool kid on the block. It's got that special shine, even where iterations of it come and go, like fast casual pizza or fast casual poke, or, the Chipotle of vacation of fast casual that happened 10 years ago. It was always reliably very interesting, the fast casual category, because so many of the new players jumping into the industry were in that category. But that is exactly its problem. There are just too many fast casuals out there. That's where you're getting the slopple term. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I hate this term. I think it's stupid. I know what you're trying to get to, all of you who have propagated this term, which is that you have the sea of sameness. You have all of these concepts doing customizable bowls full of just a bunch of ingredients. I think there's some sort of tie to this AI slop as well. I don't know, but remember, when you're talking about food, slop has a real meaning, and that is an offensive meaning. So you should stop saying slopple. Anyway, I digress. The point is that there's too many fast casuals out there. The category has reached some maturity, and naturally it's going to lead to some of those fast casuals running out of steam, and that's what you're seeing. I do still think that there is a lot of excitement for the fast casual category. As with anything in this industry, don't count it out. It will come and it will go. This is what happens. The pendulum swings. Fast casual will come back. But I want to tie it into what's going on in casual dining, which has sort of been addressed here. But I also just want to note, none of us really pegged Chili's as being the hottest brand of the restaurant industry ever in our careers. And that's no disrespect to Chili's. It's just to say that previous to the last 2 years, it just was. It was just Chili's. It was just there. No offense. It was, fine. Now it's the hottest thing going, and it's so fascinating to watch how now what Chili's is doing is trickling down to other casual dining brands. And so our friends at Applebee's are starting to see some positive momentum. Of course, credit to those casual dining brands, not to say they're just riding Chili's coattails. Just to say there's so much excitement around casual dining. I think it's sort of at fast casual's expense. I think for those who are going out for a dining experience and value, were once upon a time doing fast casual. Now they're saying, you know what? I will sit inside this casual dining restaurant. I will get a beverage. I recognize it's going to be a higher check average, but it's okay because I just want to treat myself right now. I think that's very exciting. I think this is great for casual dining. Chili's is leading the way. I didn't see it coming, but I think that this year will be really remembered as the casual dining renaissance and the sort of fast casual taking a back seat. Okay, we did have a couple questions in here. I want to ask this question that somebody threw in here, which is who, and this is courtesy, let me make sure I get this right, courtesy Ryan Menker at the Wendy's company. Ryan, you might be in my neck of the woods here in Columbus. Okay, Ryan, you asked, who is on the Mount Rushmore of restaurateurs in 2025? I like this question. I will open the floor. Brett, I feel like you're going to have the best opinion here because you've covered this industry really the longest. Who would pick one person, Brett, who you would put on the Mount Rushmore of restaurateurs?
Like historically?
Yeah, let's just say historically, but like still, let's say still operating.
You know, the person who first comes to mind, not someone we cover a whole lot of, but I'm going to go with Danny Meyer anyway, who has been he kind of invented the current sort of notion of hospitality and the idea of you'll put your staff first and they will be good to your customers and then you will be successful. And he kind of got the ball rolling on that.
That's a good one. He came to mind for me when I thought about that too. Anybody want to throw a name out there? We don't have to fill all 5 spaces, but if anybody's dying out there, yeah.
I think because the question came from someone from Wendy's, but I lived in Columbus for 7 years, and you live in Columbus right now. I want to submit Cameron Mitchell to the list.
Wow, I really thought you were going to Dave Thomas on that, but
I thought so too.
Well,
I thought you were about to say
I'm just automatically thinking of sort of the more independent type restaurateurs, pre-chain, I guess.
Certainly the multi-concept, him and Richard Melman, or the Melman family with lettuce, I think would certainly be on the let's call it the independent or restaurant group Mount Rushmore. Absolutely. Anybody else have ideas? I'm gonna say Jose Andres.
That's
you stole mine.
From a chef perspective and humanitarian perspective, he would certainly earn a spot on the Mount Rushmore. There's a few others. I don't know, like a Ron Shake, maybe. Of course, Panera founder. You know, he's more on the investment side now, but I think, you know, fast casual wouldn't be what it is today without him.
Let's include a woman on this list and call
please.
out Elizabeth Blau.
Yep. That's a good pick. Man, that's a good question. We should all think about this and come up with our own Mount Rushmore. Okay, maybe we'll do a story. I'll throw that. I'll just sort of plant the seed with the team here. Maybe that's a future NRN story, the Mount Rushmore of the restaurant industry. Okay, moving back right along into our next round, which is 2026 trend predictions. We're going to reverse our order and go back to Allie to start things off. Allie, what is your prediction for a trend to watch in 2026?
Well, I would say that last year my prediction came true this year. Last year I predicted more media collabs. Like there were a whole slew of wicked collaborations, which Chili's continued this year. We keep talking about Chili's, but how can we not? They featured 2 margaritas, the pink Glinda margarita and the Elphaba one in collaboration with Wicked. And those were $6 each. So I saw the success of that, the social mediaification of Chili's and other casual dining restaurants like that is something I could definitely see coming into 2026, where it becomes a trend to go to these places and post a video. And it has been such a great marketing strategy from the triple dipper and the cheese pull to people pretending to black out after drinking all of these Elphaba and Glinda margaritas. I could definitely see more things like that in the future.
Well, I know that.
But also, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, what were you going to say, Brett?
Well, I was going to say that if anything that I post from one of those big charismatic chains, like Chili's or Shake Shack or really any of the ones that have a huge fan base, certainly Taco Bell, they do really, really well on social media. People love watching that stuff. And that I think that helps give them momentum. And maybe there is something about the funness of casual dining. Maybe what now people in their 20s remember doing as kids, maybe that's something that is sort of plugging in to their popularity.
I was going to say, yeah, I remember going to like Applebee's or Chevy's. There wasn't really a Chili's right by me growing up, but they were all in, I'm from New Jersey, mall country, all in the malls right next to the AMC's. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 kind of deal where my generation is going. Maybe some of them are getting a little sloshed before the movies on these margarita deals and then going and seeing the movies that they're collaborating with. So I could definitely see a lot more of that in the future. I feel like it's a winning strategy. Also, a shout out to Jack, Chili's social media manager, because he is just killing it.
Shout out Jack. Well, I will say too,
Shout out Jack.
nostalgia always wins. Nostalgia is the safest play. It's why we see Burger King doing a SpongeBob menu right now. It's why the Grinch is resonating with McDonald's. And there's always another thing to be nostalgic for. So now Gen Z is going to be nostalgic for the early 2000s. I don't know. I don't even know what. If you look at the 80s and 90s, they have really clear identities. I don't know what the 2000s were. Maybe it's just because I was old by then. But it's just like, what are the 2000s? Allie, I'm going to need you guys to work on that and come up with some a thought piece on what the 2000s represent as Gen Z. Anyway, Nora, what is a trend that you would predict for 2026?
I think high fiber meals are gonna become popular. So I know that like protein and specifically protein bowls are like a big thing now. Like with Sweetgreen came out with 106 grams of protein bowl. I think high fiber meals are gonna become popular. So maybe like 25 to 30 grams of fiber in a bowl. Maybe acai bowls are gonna come back, smoothie bowls, or just smoothies in general. I think those are going to
And
become
most of the
popular.
population doesn't eat enough fiber as well.
Yeah.
Like everyone is very much underneath what is required. So I totally see that.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it happen. And I know fiber maxing is a thing on TikTok now. And it would be a great kind of like, I don't know how to break this to you, Gym Bros. You get enough protein. Americans get enough protein, but we don't get enough fiber. And so it would be really great to see that happen. I don't know that like legitimate good nutrition trends really ever take hold, but this would be a good one. And I recommend doing it with lentils and buckwheat, which was what I'm doing these days.
This is the part where I add the disclosure that we are not doctors, so don't follow our advice. Go to your doctor and figure that out for yourself. But yay fiber and yay protein. Joanna, do you have something to say about fiber?
Oh, I was just gonna be the non-doctor saying that we also don't get enough veggies, I feel like. So hashtag veggie maxing.
Which is also a great way to get fiber.
All right, there we go. Now you've heard from the NRN doctoral team, our crack team of medical experts. Anyway, okay, Kanaya, what is your 2026 trend prediction?
Well, Allie stole mine. I was gonna say an increase or an fluctuation of media collabs with restaurants. I was gonna reference like SpongeBob going on right now. I think that's a huge thing right now. But there's a couple IPs that are gonna be coming out in 2026, specifically with like Spider-Man and the Avengers. I would not be surprised if we see some sort of collab at some point with whichever restaurant takes a jab at them first in the near future. Only especially because I think Sam, you mentioned nostalgia. The Avengers has been a thing that has been going on for a minute. We haven't had an Avengers movie since 2018, I think. So I think bringing that back in 2026 and then also having a collab with some restaurant, I think is going to be huge for whichever restaurant takes a crack at them first. But yeah, that's something I think that would be my dark horse prediction.
It's frightening to think that the Avengers is nostalgia to you, Kanayo. I don't want to take a guess how old you were when the first Avengers came out.
I was 12.
Yes. Oh, okay, good. 12. That's great. Yeah, I feel so old. Yes, I think that's a good guess. You know, I talked to somebody at a major chain once who told me that those deals with the movies, with the partnerships, that you start that partnership like 3 years in advance. Like that when the studio comes to you and talks about doing something, you just start that like 3 years in advance, and you don't know. Obviously, some IP like Spider-Man and Avengers, it's a safe bet, but sometimes you're betting on movies. You have no idea if they're going to be any good or popular. So kind of fascinating to think about. I feel for all of you marketers out there. Alicia, what is the 2026 trend prediction that you have for us?
Can I share breaking news first?
Oh, please. Hello.
Coming to you live with breaking news. The Sweet Green co-founder, Nathaniel Rue, is going to retire on January 1st.
I don't know if he's 40 yet.
I don't think he is. And I think part of me wanted to talk about this just to process it and have my own therapy.
But I love Nate, and Nate, you deserve it, man. Good for you. That's great.
Outstanding. Well done. Yes, but that is not germane to anything 2026 related. And I hope I'm not stealing your thunder again, Sam. Forgive.
No, I didn't. Are you kidding me? I'm not looking at the headlines right now. I'm drinking a beer and talking on LinkedIn.
Good. Because I'll blame the vodka next. I think 2026, the value environment will continue to linger. That is a completely safe answer. I think given Brett's discussion about his Shake Shack burger and Chili's, or Allie's discussion about her Chili's burger, it just underscores where we're at right now. And McDonald's just codified value into its franchisee standards. We all know McDonald's is the bellwether. And as McDonald's goes, so goes the industry. So this value environment, buckle up. It's not going anywhere. So, brands are going to have to get really creative to be top of mind here, especially the first half of the year when consumer sentiment is predicted to continue to be pressured. And they're going to have to figure out ways to be involved in this conversation without, compromising their margins. Two bolder predictions, if I may. Pizza Hut will get sold to a private equity firm or a C-store company. I think the Potbelly Racetrack acquisition in 25 kind of opened some intrigue in a conversation that didn't really exist all that much before. Oh, you know what? C-store and QSR have been blurring for quite some time. Why not play in each other's spaces with these sort of these deals? But I do think Pizza Hut gets snagged off the market this year. And then I think we'll have way more activity, not way more, that's really embellished, but more activity on the public market than we had in 2025, which was rather sleepy. I think it's weird to think about the public market and how sleepy it's really been since that, 5 IPO 2021. But, I think we'll have at least 1 or 2 big IPOs in 2026. My guess is Inspire will go. Inspire Brands.
Good guess. That is a good guess.
I'm not going to put money on that, though.
I don't think you'd be allowed to, and I don't think you'd be able to say so right here. But this is the part where I put in a disclaimer where we do not.
There's so many disclaimers on this call.
Yeah, we're not doctors and do not take investment advice from us.
We'll
We're not allowed to invest in
We'll blame the Santa gummy again.
Oh, we get ourselves into all kinds of trouble when we drink live in front of people. Who knew? Brett, let's move on to you. 2026 trend prediction.
So, speaking of drinking, I live in Brooklyn, which is known for being super hip and cool and trendy, and I live in one of the least trendy and hip, cool parts of Brooklyn. I live in the deep south of Brooklyn, in the neighborhoods of Sheepshead Bay and Brighton Beach, where there are a lot of former Soviet Union people, a lot of Russians, a lot of Ukrainians, and they have their own cocktail culture that is pretty interesting. And one thing they do that I haven't seen anywhere else is this thing. I'm going to show you the visual aid of my phone. This is a copper plate, and you see it has different patterns on it. And it's copper, so it conducts heat really well. So what I'm going to take this away now. What these mixologists are doing is they're taking those big giant ice cubes and they're inverting them on these copper stencils, and the patterns are being embossed into the ice cubes, and then you have a really lovely, easy pattern to put on your drinks. And it's cheap, it's pretty, it's experiential, and I see that becoming a thing in 2026.
You got a aha on the Deep South comment. That's why you speak with such a drawl, Brett. You're in the Deep South of Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, no, it's more of a Russian accent, which I would imitate, but it would come across as racist. So I'm not gonna.
Good idea to not do that. That's great. We're doing great here, guys. We should not drink live in front of people ever again. All right, Joanna, give us your trend prediction. You've waited all this time. It is your turn. What have you got for us?
I don't think that I have anything. Sorry. I don't think that I have anything particularly controversial to say. Hate to disappoint.
Well, then don't say it at all, Joanna. You know
But I was thinking about, again, like tech predictions, and I kind of want to play a game of do this, not that, or this, not that.
Okay.
And I think that there is going to be a backlash, or I guess these are all sort of things that have kind of gained a little bit of momentum over the past year. So kind of continuing, but a backlash against apps, mobile apps in favor of digital wallets. I keep seeing more tech vendors coming out with digital wallet applications because I think a lot of people are tired of having so many apps on their phone. I also think that, and I've been predicting this for a while now, but I think it's coming. Backlash against kiosks. I heard a lot of chatter at FS Tech and other conferences kind of against kiosks. And there were also a couple of posts that went viral on social media recently. I saw one on LinkedIn that was like someone walked into McDonald's and was really put off by the sea of kiosks. And it just felt very impersonal. And so I think that that's going to be kind of taken out sort of in favor of, I'm going to say, back to people, but with AI components, perhaps, kind of AI upselling. We're seeing, again, a lot of that from POS systems. And then also seeing maybe some backlash against voice AI. I feel like voice AI was the only type of AI we were talking about for a while. I'm kind of tired of it, guys. And so I think that we are going to see, again, kind of like this move away from voice AI because people are realizing how inaccurate it can be in the drive-through lane and cause a lot of frustration in favor of kind of more that invisible back of house AI, which I've been touting for a while now. But yeah, I think that people are realizing that a lot of this AI technology isn't perfect yet. And so that's why all these voice AI companies still need to have the human in the loop.
I'm with you on that as far as the AI goes. There's I posted I went through the White Castle AI drive-through here in Columbus, and a lot of the comments were very negative about the AI experience, which I thought was fine, but it's just very obviously not a human, and it'll be jarring for people for a while. But I got to tell you guys, I'm here to say it. The QR code and the kiosk are not going anywhere. They're here for good, everybody. Sorry, Joanna, not to rain on your parade. I don't see it. People keep trying to kill the kiosk, but it doesn't happen. It keeps coming back. All right, we got a good question here in the comments I want to get to before I move on to mine. Stephen Anderson, thanks for your question. What's the one wild card trend in 2026 that could catch operators off guard? Anyone have a good answer to that? I'm going to say 2026 is going to be great. That's a wild card trend right there because I don't think it's going to happen. I would catch all of us off guard if 2026 was like a fantastic year and everything got really great. Call me a cynic, but for the last 5 years, I have not been so hopeful about the years.
I think we reached some saturation on some of these menu trends that we've been very aggressive about. And I think, chicken is a great example here. I think we're going to start seeing some closures on the chicken side. Unfortunately, I don't like saying that. I am not a pessimist. I'm pragmatic. I think we are just reaching saturation. We know consumers want chicken, but I think that we are reaching. There's too many chicken concepts now. That's kind of a bold thing to say as beef prices are expected to continue to remain high too. So I think we're going to just have to get really creative on the other side of the menu.
Well,
only vegetarian options from now on.
Okay. There you go.
Related to that, Alicia, beef prices are high, but consumers have traditionally been accepting of high beef prices because we eat chicken, but we love beef in general as Americans. And so I think despite the high prices, we're going to see more beef. But I think what's going to catch people off guard, even though people keep talking about it, is the impact that GLP-1s are going to have on the way people eat. And I think people need to get in front of that. And it's not a bad thing for restaurants. It's just creating situations where people with limited eating capacity are going to enjoy things. And so that might be a taco, but a high impact, flavorful, wonderful taco, so that they're willing to spend more, especially since they aren't going to be eating as much. It could be really profitable to have these relatively low food cost items, that because you can charge more for them, because people aren't going to be spending as much. They're not going to be buying as much food overall, so they can spend more on what they're eating, if that makes sense. And so I think that's something that people should look at and get in front of.
It makes a lot of sense to have smaller portion sizes instead of letting the leftovers rot in the fridge anyway.
And add fiber.
I have an
Add fiber.
And with fiber.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Joanne.
I have an incomplete optimistic prediction. And
Okay.
I wonder if I'm going to maybe throw the question back at you guys. I wonder if, based on our conversation about Chili's, if it might take some people by surprise that we see maybe yet another kind of legacy brand that is kind of past its heyday see a boost or of momentum again. I feel like that could happen, especially since we were talking about people really into nostalgia. I don't know if others agree. I'm struggling to think of what brand that could be, but
It's KFC.
KFC.
oh boy, yeah.
KFC could be one of them for sure. I believe that. Let's say Red Lobster. Maybe
I was
Red
gonna
Lobster. We've already seen Demola
Yeah.
Adam Morgan bring some new life to Red Lobster. I think from a business perspective, we haven't totally seen yet that rebound, but it could be primed for one. Let's just say it's a low bar.
Yeah, Red Lobster just announced, I think, 200 layoffs today or yesterday or recently. But they are doing a lot of interesting menu innovation, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Josiah Hodges asks, have we had the SpongeBob or Grinch meals? Nora mentioned that she had. Nora, you mentioned you had the Grinch meal. Say what you thought of it as far as a flavor perspective. What did you think of those the dill seasoning on the fries?
To be honest, I really wasn't a big fan of them. I love pickles, and I really didn't taste that much pickles in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it kind of tasted a little bit like ranch to me, if I'm being honest.
So what? So it tasted like amazingness? I'm so confused.
I'm
You're
not a big
so
fan
Midwest.
of ranch. I'm not a big fan of ranch, but I do love pickles. But I really wasn't getting the pickle taste to it. But I thought the socks were cool. I think the snow
The
globes
socks.
the snow globes would have been better, but
Okay.
socks will do.
Has anybody had SpongeBob meal from Burger King?
I have, and I want to caveat something quick because I agree with Nora. I am a pickle fan as well. I'm also a ranch fan, but
Thank you.
the salt,
You're an
the
Ohioan,
shaker,
you have to be.
yeah, totally. But the concept, it was almost overpowering.
Yeah.
And I want my world famous fries as world famous. I don't want to mess with that.
Unadulterated.
It's that they're perfect. McDonald's fries are the closest thing to perfection in the QSR segment, so don't mess with them.
Yeah,
But there were a number of hacks that were in, I went down a Reddit rabbit hole that people were adding that salt to McNuggets and to, their McFlurries. They were doing all kinds of stuff with them. I tried a little bit, but I'm just not that sophisticated or adventurous. I'm too old for that. My kid did like the McFlurry. He thought that was really interesting. The SpongeBob meal was very interesting. The bun was like yellow and square, and otherwise the flavors were fine. I like the strawberry pie. The frozen pineapple drink was where it was at, and I think that is a really cool early sign for Burger King to maybe do what they're expected to do in the coming year on the beverage side.
Add a little rum to that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, or a Santa gummy.
Or a Santa gummy. Yes, if we've learned anything here, just add rum or gummy to it and make it all better. All right, my trend prediction. I'm going to say kind of swimming in the same lane as a lot of you, but I'm going to say emerging casual chains will suddenly become a thing. You will start to see a lot of folks trying to draft off of casual dining's success by opening new fun especially experiential based kind of concepts. I'm not talking entertainment, which maybe that's fine. I'm just talking about, startup casual dining brands looking to capitalize on this new momentum for full service dining. You always see that where, something, a category gets hot and a lot of people try to jump into it. And I think we could all be better off for it. You could see a lot of really cool concepts start to come up, much like fast casual did 15 years ago. You saw a lot of brands take off in the fast casual category as they tried to emulate Chipotle. You're going to see a lot of folks trying to emulate Chili's, and you're going to see a lot of activity on that sort of emerging chain casual dining side of things. I also think I've been saying this probably for at least 10 years, but I think this could be finally be the year we get a really interesting Asian limited service chain that's going to scale and become a big deal. Panda still really owns this kind of category to itself. You've got Payway and a few others that are at multi-unit, kind of scaled level of things. But I just think that market, Asian flavors are due for a major spotlight. I don't know. Asian flavor has been here forever, but like from the perspective of all restaurants really starting to play around with Asian flavors, I think you'll start to see some Asian fast casuals and Asian QSRs really start to grow and take advantage of that marketplace. Josiah also asks, Dubai chocolate has the hype around Dubai chocolate faded away? Brett or Nora, you're best served to answer that. What do you think? Dubai chocolate, is it gone? Is it bye-bye?
I mean, it's not bye-bye. I think especially in retail, I'm seeing more and more of it, but it's not. There will be more. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hershey's came out with something too, right? Recently, I believe. But I think we're still gonna see a little bit of it. But I wonder if there's gonna be like new inventions inside the chocolate, like I don't know, cotton candy or something.
Yeah,
Like, that
I
would
went
be
to the
interesting.
fancy food show in New York, and there were, I think it's called like Angel Dubai chocolate or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's what
It
it's.
had
Yeah,
like
yeah.
raspberry or cotton candy. It was really good.
Interesting. Okay.
I could
Also,
definitely see.
Illan Brown, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Illan Brown says, okay, we're talking about pickles. Pickles were a hot second there. What is the hyper fixation flavor prediction for 2026? I like how you phrased that. So what is the flavor that's going to get sort of an undue amount of attention this year, much like pickles and Dubai chocolate, arguably?
Banana.
Oh, banana. Okay, that's interesting.
Matcha.
Sorry?
Matcha.
Matcha. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think banana is more universally approachable to Americans than matcha is. And it's already our most popular fruit. I'm starting to see variations on banana. Like I had a sundae, you can see it on TikTok, that had little tiny little banana nonpareils, basically little crunchy banana things that were part of it. It was like a deconstructed banana split. Some of my hipster Eastern European mixologists are figuring out different ways of making banana extracts, like adding this enzyme that dissolves the pectin so you can get this kind of cleaner, more pristine banana water. And it's a non-controversial, non-polarizing, likable flavor.
Well, I got to tell you, we eat enough bananas in the Okas household that if that takes off as one of these popular flavors and it drives the cost of bananas up, I hate you all. So that's what I have to say about that. Anybody else have a prediction for flavor of the year?
Well, I think bread is spot on. My partner is a coffee roaster in Jersey City, and they have a banana bread latte. I've seen a lot of that. I could also see corn. We did a feature on corn in desserts, and that's really popular in Asia. I could really see that picking up in the US with the prevalence of Luckin coffee and how that's expanding. More unique flavors that they're doing worldwide being brought here.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
But pickles aren't going anywhere.
Pickles aren't going anywhere. And by the way, pickles
Yeah, there was the pickle
never
witch,
were anywhere
the
else.
pickle lemonade.
The pickle lemonade, that was a bridge too far in my opinion. But all right, and
I
finally,
don't like
Stephen
pickles,
Anderson.
so I didn't try it.
Oh, fair enough. Stephen Anderson wants to know, Brett, should he go to Columbus or Brooklyn for New Year's Eve? because his two favorite EDM artists are playing in those two cities. First, Stephen, I would ask you, who's the EDM artist? Tell me, because I'm going to be in Columbus for New Year's Eve, so maybe I'll drop in. And Brett can go to the one in Brooklyn, and we can cover your bases for you.
You know,
I don't know if there's a right answer here, but Brett, make your pitch for Brooklyn.
Well, I absolutely welcome you to come to Brooklyn if you want, but like, New York's good. We got a lot of people, and several people come to New York City for New Year's Eve. So I want to hand a hand of warmth and greeting to Columbus, where my grandmother was born, actually, and go to Columbus. Have a wonderful time that, doesn't have so many damn people.
Well, it's funny you say that because my wife keeps telling me everywhere I go, there's so many damn people. So I think we got a lot of people here in Columbus too. But you know what? Come on, whatever you pick, Stephen, reach out and tell us hello, and we will do our best to be good hosts for you. Okay, that's all we got. We wrapped up. We filled a whole hour, guys. We did a good job here, I think. So first off, cheers to all of you in the audience. Happy holidays. And thanks for sticking with us. We'll talk to you in 2026. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Happy holidays.